That is correct. You are listening to Real Estate U here on Hot News Talk Radio, 1240, 1190, and 910 a.m. We cover all of Chattanooga, South Pittsburgh, Dunlap, Cleveland, and even you fine listeners down in North Georgia, you're a part of us too. Welcome to the show. This is Real Estate U. And as always, my name is Eric Judd, and I am with my partner, Mr. John Santero. Hello, John.
Well, good morning, Eric. Hey, it's a great day to be in real estate.
It's always a great day to be in real estate. And I tell you what, we've got a huge honor today. Our guest is a national speaker. We're going to be talking with him. His name is Brandon Diaz. He goes all over the country. Very fortunate to have him not only live here, but to come in and be part of the show.
Well, it's a good thing we still have that helicopter port, you know, that dock.
Well, he flew in on a private jet 2 days ago. Yeah, and then they flew him from the airport over here. So, and then
we have extra security around here too.
But the only thing I didn't much care for, he really wanted the rose petals, so he could walk in on, and that's getting a little crazy.
We
but
went with a little tulips,
yeah,
the rose petals we couldn't do.
So, and of course we gave him coffee, he spit it out, and he started, but that's normal. He's a national speaker, and that's what happens. No, we're really happy to have him. And tell you what, last week was a big week. I know the Chattanooga RIA had a huge event. And John, we'll let you kind of tell us a little bit about that.
You know, everybody asks, Eric, what can we do? I don't have any money. How can I go out there? How can I find deals? And so we had Bill Cook come out. Now, he came out on... And
Bill Cook is kind of a regional guy. He's from Cartersville.
He runs the North Georgia RIA down there. Has been doing that for, gosh, I don't know.
For a long time.
Since there was dirt. And his lovely wife came up, which I really invited his wife rather, but that's another story. But anyway, so he came up.
The sagas of the RIA.
He came up and had a wonderful presentation on how to market. And then but instead of just trying to sell books and toys and everything else, he said, listen, I'm going to have you guys come out on Saturday and actually do what we talked about.
And he did that.
And he did. We had about 13 to 15 people go out. Now, picture this. He's going out in East Brainerd.
So, wait a minute. Thursday, he kind of taught what he's going to do. Yeah. He laid out his plan. Here's what I'm going to do. Had a great crowd there. Right. And he, and it does sound one of those things like, yeah, buddy, I'd like to see you do this, because he says he's going to go knock on somebody's door.
That's all he does.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how he
built his business.
200 plus properties.
Wow.
And he did that by going out knocking on doors.
Is that guerrilla marketing, or is it walking marketing? What kind of marketing is that? The old leg marketing, the knocking on doors marketing?
It's the old full of brush man marketing.
That's exactly what it is. Does he put his foot in the door and doesn't allow him to close it?
It's really funny. He had a whole program how you do it. You don't go, I don't want to give it all away, but I guess you knock on the door, you step away from the door and go out or past the porch. So what the whole point is having somebody open up the door
and step outside
so that you can meet in a, kind of like a friendly area where you're not right in there with somebody right on the porch.
That's pretty good. So, I mean, I like that, because it's that way he's not intimidating them, and he gets them off of their turf.
And it's really neat too, because he has the whole, side movement. Make sure he's not a big guy, but
right.
Well, he is.
Yeah, he is. He's
kind of.
He's a pretty big guy.
Yeah. And he has the side profile thing that he does, so he makes himself, look less intimidating, body language type of stuff. And these guys went out, and could you imagine knocking on the door and having 15 people
behind you? Yeah.
They think that maybe, what's that thing where you get the money, the
Publishers Clearinghouse. You've just won.
And they went out, they made offers.
Wow.
They made, and it's just
and now he's not from Chattanooga, so he comes to Chattanooga. What part of town were they in? Do you know?
Well, I tell you what he does. He goes to, I said, how do you do this, Bill? What do you go? Yeah. Just point me to a Home Depot or Lowe's. I go,
okay.
What are you talking about? He goes, no, they've done all my research. They went out and figured out this is where we're going to plant the store, because around this area in a 5-mile radius is people are going to be coming to the store and buying product from Home Depot. That's my market.
That's pretty good.
So he comes in completely raw. Right? Doesn't have any idea. By the end of the day, he knows how much the rent is in an area, how much the price of the house is in the area, what's a good deal in the area, who's selling in the area one day.
And that's all because he goes where a Home Depot and Lowe's is.
Yes.
He knows the growth. I mean, that's pretty smart. Always let somebody do the hard work for you.
I mean, if somebody else is out there marketing,
Yeah.
doing all this work, you might as well follow the lead.
So they met at the McDonald's on Gun Barrel. So he was in East Brainerd, and I guess he went into East Brainerd, picked a neighborhood, and just started knocking on doors.
Started knocking on doors, and had 13 people behind him, and everybody said it was probably the neatest thing they've ever seen, because you think and he has this. Well, he talks about being not having that monster where why don't you do things
right?
Because
it's fear.
Exactly, fear. So what he did was he said, "This is how you get over your fear. You jump into it. Nobody's going to kill you. Nobody's going to shoot you. They
may ask you to leave, but other than that, all they can do is say no."
Well, the funny thing is, he said that he actually remembers the people who were negative to him. He said it's and he's been doing it for.
He's been doing it a while.
I'm going to say 20 years.
Wow.
He said he could count on both fingers, both hands.
So he can count on both fingers. Yeah, he's an odd-looking fellow with only two fingers.
He looks like a duck. No.
Yeah.
And so he just says you just got to go through. He says people are naturally nice. When you're nice, they're nice, and he has a nice little presentation of how you go about.
You're on their property, so it's not intimidating. You hadn't brought them into an office.
No, and you're not standing right there at the door. You're off on the porch down below. So he also does this whole thing about height.
Yeah. Where you want them about. Yeah.
People are looking down at you from their porch. You're not going to knock on the door in the basement.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know, but. So it's he has it down to a science, Eric. And the thing is, what he said on Thursday, he proved
on Saturday.
On Saturday.
Now you don't see a lot of people do that. They come in and speak. They will come in and speak, but then to actually physically go out and do it, especially something like this. I mean, a lot of the stuff that you learn, and we'll talk to Brandon about it. Is stuff that you go in and implement. But this is. Talking about out of the box, he can't even spell box with this. I mean, he is way out there, and it is something you probably have to see.
It's so simple.
It is.
It works.
Yeah.
That's the whole key to this. It's so simple that it works. And
now, does he do it on any day of the week, or is Saturday the key day? Or I bet it is.
No, you know what? I think you're right. I remember he says he does it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you can go down to Cartersville, Georgia, and
drive around, see some guy knocking on doors.
And that's interesting stuff. We got a call.
Yeah, we have a caller. Hello, caller. You are on the air. You're on Real Estate U.
Hello.
Hey, is this Diane?
This is Diane.
Hey, Diane. I know you were part of Bill Cook's go out and knocking on doors campaign on Saturday. Why don't you kind of give us a take? You were actually there. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Guys, I'll tell you, this $49 are the best money I've ever spent on real estate education, period.
Well, good. What?
Period.
Tell us about the first one he went to. First of all, what area of town did you go in? I know you met at the McDonald's on Gun Barrel, and then what? Did you stay in East Brainerd, or where did you go from there?
We went to a subdivision. I'm not familiar with the subdivisions in that area, but it was right across the street from McDonald's, kind of behind Walmart.
Okay. Yes.
It's a subdivision of 150 to 250,000 homes.
Right.
Very nice.
Okay. And so how was it the first door he walked up to and knocked on?
Yeah, we had about 13 people. No, we had 13 people, period. And just the big group. It's so funny. We knocked on the first door and didn't know what to expect. This Indian guy came and looked at all of us behind Bill and kind of
I thought he won a prize.
Wondering what's going on. But anyway, so Bill goes and says, "Hi, my name is Bill. I love this subdivision. I'm looking for a home here. Do you know anybody that's selling?" And the guy says, "Well, there is a sign across this house across the street is selling. But Bill said, well, I called the realtor, but they didn't call me back, so I have limited time. We started talking like that.
Right. So he engaged the guy with conversation.
And then pretty soon Bill asked, well, are you planning to sell this beautiful house? And the guy said, well, actually, yes, I'm thinking about selling, but I'm not in a hurry. And Bill fell down on his knees and wrote the offer right then.
Wow. So he wrote him an offer right then, and the guy accepted the offer?
And he put it in his pocket and started asking about the house. You know, where's the living room? Where's the kitchen? And the man answered the questions, and then he said, well, would you like to see it? And Bill said, can we? And he said, yeah. And so Bill said, well, can all of us come over? We'll take our shoes off. And he said, sure. And all 14 of us go inside this house, and he's showing us the living room and the office and bedrooms, and we all piled up in the kitchen, and Bill gave him the offer, and we talked, and he just kept talking for about half an hour.
Wow.
And then he said, okay, I'm going to keep this offer, and when I decide to sell, I'll call you. And that's how it ended. And then he said, this is very unusual, you know. Can I have a picture with you guys?
So he's Bill's friend now.
We piled up on the porch, and they made a picture with him and with Bill, and it's all on the North Georgia RIA's website, all the pictures and all the offers.
Wow,
that is great, Diane.
When I asked you to call, you started with a quick story, and we only got a couple of minutes, but I want you to just tell a little bit about it. Now you were, of course, a part of the RIA, and you listened to Bill's presentation on Thursday. What happened on Friday, real quick? You got about 2 minutes.
I bought a house. I have a contract. So I have been wanting to meet the owners of this house that has been vacant for a while. And on Friday, this guy happened to come over, and I approached him and talked to him and asked him to show me the house. And then I said, well, I'm ready to make you an offer. He said, okay. So I did my homework in the next 15 minutes and came back and told him I'm going to pay him 70 on terms and 60 cash. And he looked at me and he got up and said, 65 and we're done. I said, when do we sign the contract? And he said, right now.
Well, good job. Very good job, Diane.
So this is cool. So now, you know, this helped you start approaching people, right? And
absolutely. But this is my second house I bought this way.
Wow,
bought one in December.
That's fantastic.
Very good,
Diane. To people. I'm a believer, honestly. It works.
Well, thank you so much for calling in, Diane. We appreciate the update and actually an eyewitness report of what Bill does. Eyewitness. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Diane, for calling.
Sure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Goodbye.
Now, that was kind of cool.
That was real cool, John. I mean, you know, and I like the way he said, just keep that offer. When you get ready to sell, call me. Yeah. And you know that he'll get the first phone call.
You know, and people, this is what I'm trying to say. You think that people are going to just slam the door in your face or this and that.
Tell you where to go.
And here you got 13 people tromping
through the house that the guy didn't even know you were showing up. Taking pictures at that, taking pictures, sending Christmas cards. All of a sudden, they're best friends. Well, I tell you what, and that's just some of the things that you'll learn in the Chattanooga RIA. You need to be a part of this organization if you're anywhere interested in investment real estate, and you can find out more about them at ChattanoogaRIA.com. That's ChattanoogaREIA.com, ChattanoogaRIA.com. Go to their website, look around. The next meeting will be coming up in May. It's the first Thursday of May, and so you definitely want to be a part of that. And now, without further ado, now that we've got all the rose petals up, we are proud to have Brandon Diaz. Hello, Brandon. How you doing?
Thank you for having me.
We're glad to have you here on Real Estate U and Hot News Talk Radio. Brandon is a national speaker. He goes all over the nation speaking and teaching about a variety of ways to invest in real estate. And we're going to cover most of that in the second part of the interview. But first, we want to get to know you, Brandon. Are you from Chattanooga originally?
Yeah, originally I'm actually from Athens, Tennessee. And so that's where I went to high school. I ended up joining the Marine Corps, United States Marine Corps.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, I ended up doing 2 tours to Iraq, 1 to Israel.
Well, thank you for your service.
Well, thank you. I ended up, there was a choice that was kind of made at that point. I could stay in.
Right.
Or get out and try the real world.
Yes.
So at the age of 22, I decided to go out there and try the real world. But this was back in 2008, if you remember
Okay.
this correctly.
Right. Best time to get in real estate there was.
Well,
Everything's going gangbusters.
yeah. And so I from there, the best job I could, they told me when I was getting out of the Marine Corps, they said, you'll be able to find any job you want. Never going to have a problem.
Right.
You're a Marine. It was obviously not the case. I ended up, best job I could get myself was Red Lobster. And
Well, that's the best job you can get as a
Yeah,
Marine.
yeah.
You've taken over Red Lobster.
That's right. That's right. So they say that, you got to do something. I had to do something different at that point.
Okay.
And then I found myself an opportunity in 2010 to start becoming educated and being mentored by individuals in real estate. And I got started in 2010 and started rolling from there. And in real estate investing, never knew anything about real estate investing. Didn't know what a mortgage was at the time. Didn't know what a lease was. I was a barracks Marine. I'm talking zero actual information. And
Well, what drew you to real estate? Is it did you meet somebody, or did you just always have a yearning for it? Or?
well, I started reading books, but during that little lapse between 2008 to 2010, I started doing a lot of personal development. I started picking up books like Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. And then I just started immersing myself and started surrounding myself by other people, and then recognizing that real estate was, and all the people that I had spoke with, real estate was something they had as a portfolio.
Right.
And then I was given an opportunity to actually learn, and ended up going to a little. Ended up going to a little 3-day seminar.
Okay.
And decided to progress at that point. Became a student to real estate investing, and just immersing and learning as much as I possibly could. And then kind of the rest is history from there. I ended up opening up some other companies besides real estate. One in the medical management field. It's In Good Health of North Georgia. And from there, companies asked me to come and teach what I do, and I go and I travel and I share that information. We do a lot of personal development, teaching about real estate, just growing individuals all over the world, and it's been a surreal blessing for me.
Now, you told us something off the air that when you come out of the military, you were unhireable. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's it. They say I ended up becoming an entrepreneur because nobody would hire me.
That's it. Yeah.
And,
So
I was kind of forced into it. I mean, and you hear a lot about this. A lot of people go into the military, and I'm keen to the military because I understand what they went through, and a lot of those individuals, they go into the military with their occupations and their prestige occupations when they're in the military, but when they get out, there's nothing for them, and they don't prepare people for out in the real world. And so I mean, this is a great opportunity. I mean, and it's just not.
But I'm sure they give you the discipline and the drive in the military that you have to have, and I'm sure that is equated in why you're successful right now.
Well, it's all choices. I have buddies, and they one of the things I was suffering from was actually what was called post-traumatic stress disorder.
Right.
And what I've been able to do through this development is also, fix the most important thing that we have, which is our own mind.
Right.
And but I do have buddies. I get this a lot. People will, equivalate and say, you're here because of the military. But at the same token, I know a lot of civilians that have done very well for themselves too as well. And then I have some buddies that went in the military and they're suffering. They're cut from the same cloth as me. It's really what you make it to be.
Yeah, it's your desire. It's your inner desire. And I think what you said was key. You immersed yourself in a lot of different readings from people, but the philosophy is really the same, is that you can do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Everybody it's an opportunity every single day. And if this is something you're wanting to get into, I mean, it's literally just going to a RIA and starting.
It is.
Yourself immersed to these individuals. Literally saying, hey, how can I help you?
Like we talked about with the guy walking around knocking on the doors, you have to do something.
Absolutely.
And when you're doing that, you're getting rid of fear, because fear will hold you back more than anything.
People have this, there's two sides of fear. People talk about fears. People have the fear of failure.
Right.
They say, if I do this, what'll happen to me? And I usually tell these individuals, if you have fear of failure, if you don't do anything at all, then you fail.
You fail.
Just default.
Right.
give yourself the opportunity at minimum. And then some people actually have what's called a fear of success. If they do it,
then what am I going to do next?
who am I going to become? What is going to happen? And I always say, give yourself the opportunity. If you don't like it, you can always go back to what you've always done. It's a choice.
Yeah, you get too successful. How am I going to handle it?
Yeah, how am I?
Or what is my next book going to be? A lot of writers go through that.
I'm actually and I'm glad that you just said that. I just finished the book. It's called The Observant Winner. I just finished the book. I was taking a ride with Brian Tracy, and Brian Tracy, in about 30 minutes, told me how to write a book. And I've been trying to write a book for over 10 years, from conception to when I wanted to write a book to actually finishing the book. When I
must be a big, thick book if you've taken 10 years to write it.
Well,
no, I'm kidding you.
It's about 150 pages, about 35,000 words at this point.
Right.
And but I finished the book. It actually took me 30 days, and I followed what Brian Tracy was saying. Brian Tracy wrote over 70 books, and he said, I've wrote a couple books. I think I know. I've wrote over 70 books.
Right.
And I think I know a thing or two about books. And it's a powerful example of what a mentor can do, because I've been wanting to do something for over 10 years, never could make it happen. And in a 30-minute car ride with Brian Tracy, he shows
30 days later, you have a book.
Done. And that's the power of what a mentor can do for you, and immersing yourself in people that are doing this business, that are teaching this, that are putting themselves out there like what you have done. And to be a part of something like that is above what a dollar amount could even say.
Yeah.
It's above what a person could even
You can't put a dollar amount. Yeah.
You have to give yourself that opportunity first before you can actually judge it or say anything about it.
And I think taking the opportunity is one of the first steps to get rid of the fear, whether it's the fear of failure or success.
Tony Robbins does a thing where you just walk a fire, and the only thing he says the entire time is just take a step. If you're willing to take one step, then you're forced to take the remaining steps. But you always have an obstacle.
And the remaining steps are pretty quickly.
Yeah, you have to. You have to, yeah.
But that's really in life. Once you take that first step, you want to always invest in real estate. I'd like to, that's always on your mind. You have to take that first step. And then each step is going to get easier and quicker and easier and quicker. And all of a sudden you wonder yourself, why didn't I do this years ago?
That's right. And if they took that first step, it almost becomes surreal. And then, some people, it baffles me that some people won't just at least take the step, because the feeling that you get, even when you get a house under contract, the first time you get a house under contract, it's a surreal feeling. There's a rush there. It's exciting.
And the fear comes in. What if I can't do this?
Can't do this?
But what you said, you're excited, you're successful. So you build on that and not build on the fear.
And then it becomes a continuously growing process.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another step. Eventually you get used to writing contracts. And then from that point on, then it's actually closing. And then when you actually start closing, then it's in creating the revenue or actually finishing out that contract or whatever. And it becomes a progression, and that's how business is supposed to be. And if you don't go through that process, then you basically fail by default.
Right. You're absolutely correct.
And you can grow by...
and you have to continue to educate yourself, which is what you do. And we're going to talk about in the second hour. But you also, like you said, mentoring. Find a mentor, find somebody to sit down and consult with, and help you out, because you are going to run into roadblocks, or maybe you're getting fatigued or whatever in what you're doing, and you're going to need somebody to motivate you.
I don't believe in a self-made man or woman. I don't believe there's such thing. I believe there's a self-made decision that a person makes. A person makes a decision to be whatever it is they want. But to say that a person made it just because of themselves, that they made it just alone, it slaps the face of all my business partners that got me here.
Everybody needed help.
Absolutely. I could not have. I have some of the smartest business partners and mentors. I've got some of the best education. There's no way that a person individually could get there themselves. You have to surround yourself by like-minded people to be able to get there.
And you're correct. And you need to be humble and thank those people. And then you need to turn around and do the same yourself. You need to help people.
Absolutely. And that's when you get the rose petals and all that.
That's it. That's why we have the rose petals for him. Yeah. And he said he's a little upset because they were fake petals.
Yeah.
He's used to the real.
I'm just happy to be here. Thank you for so much for having me.
All right, we're going to continue this after the break. We're talking to Brandon Diaz, and he is a national speaker, and I guess now we can say he's a national author, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
And once again, we want to thank you for your service in the military, for doing that and sacrificing for your country. We also want to remind you that you're listening to Hot News Talk Radio here on 1240, 1190, and 910 AM, one of the largest footprints in AM radio. And why AM radio? Because all the big stars here, even Brandon Diaz, and John Santero, my partner. I have two big stars in the studio. When we come back, we're going to talk to him more about exactly what he's doing and how he's educating and mentoring people now in his own words and story. And you are listening to Real Estate U here on Hot News Talk Radio, and my name is Eric Judd.
NASCAR, Laura Ingram, Dennis Miller, David Toulis, Coast to Coast AM, and CBS Radio News. Chattanooga's news, talk, and sports leader.
Hot News Talk Radio, 910, 1190, and 1240 AM.
Here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's got third. He's going for second. Earnhardt going for the lead.
The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series is on the Motor Racing Network. Coverage continues Sunday here at Live on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Check it out this Sunday live on Chattanooga's official NASCAR radio station.
Hot News Talk 1240.
It's time to get out your running shoes for the second annual Operation Outreach Race on March 28th at Mile Straight Baptist in Soddy Daisy. This year's race includes a 5K road race, trail race, a road and trail challenge, and a 1-mile fun walk. A portion of the proceeds will go to the Soddy Daisy Food Bank, and each participant will be asked to bring canned food to the race as we try to raise over 2,400 pounds of food. To register, go to OperationOutreach5K.com.
You do not have to be living with constant pain. You need to make the choice today to enjoy a revitalized body. You deserve to live a better pain-free life. And Dr. Ross can help. At Ross Chiropractic, failure is not an option. For over 40 years, Dr. Ross, a graduate of the prestigious Palmer College of Chiropractic, prided himself in helping and healing. The Ross method of chiropractic care is unique in developing a treatment designed just for you. And Ross Chiropractic makes this promise to you. If he believes that he can help relieve your pain, he will guide you to another health practitioner to assist you. Feel better now. You owe it to yourself. You really do. Call Dr. Ross now at 954-9591. That's 954-9591. And visit Dr. Ross at 7405 Shallowford Road, Suite 320. Ross Chiropractic, helping your body heal itself. Because when your spine's in line, you will feel fine. Call 954-9591. That's 954-9591 for Ross Chiropractic.
NASCAR, Laura Ingram, Dennis Miller, David Toulis, Coast to Coast AM, and CBS Radio News. Chattanooga's news, talk, and sports leader.
Hot News Talk Radio, 910, 1190, and 1240 AM.
Real Estate U is back on the air here on Hot News Talk Radio, and that is 1240, 1190, and 910 a.m. Or you can always catch us at hotnewstalkradio.com. Or if you have the TuneIn app, just go to 1240 WSDT, and you can catch us anywhere in the world on your smartphone, and that's good on the Android phone or your Apple phone. And we're about to continue our conversation with Brandon Diaz. But first, we'd like to thank our main sponsor, and that's Investor Real Estate Services. They're good if you need property management, they can help you. If you're looking for a brokerage, whether you want to sell your house, you're looking to buy a house, they can even help you with rent ready, or maybe if you're looking to flip a house and need a contractor there, they can help you all the way around. And their phone number is 423-443-4878. That's 423-443-4878. Extension 3 is Miss Regina Johnson's number. And, tell her you heard us on Hot News Talk Radio, and she'll be more than happy to help you out. And I'm going to turn it over to my partner, Mr. John Santero. John, I'm going to leave you with Brandon Diaz here.
Well, I like being in the captain's chair here. You just sit back. Feels real comfy and stuff. I do need a captain's hat. I do. Well, listen. Enough about the captain's chair. I'm just intrigued on how you stepped up, Brandon, because you know what, I've known you for a couple of years, yep. And we've kind of plugged in and plugged out during that time.
That's right.
And it's kind of neat. coming in. You appreciate you being here because it's your week off. You said, right? And you were just telling a little bit about your prep, and I was intriguing. So because you're out there and you're talking to hundreds of people, right? How did you get going on that? What give us a like cocktail talk. How you got there?
You definitely are. You're getting me on this
one. All right.
You're
I know it was a long road, but go ahead, just throw it out there.
I had a buddy, and again, I have to say there's many people that were involved in this, this whole thing, and I was able to with the company that basically taught me. I became a bit of a I would say a little bit of a bragger. I would say I like to share successes and all that. And so what I ended up doing was I was talking to my mentors and all that. And an opportunity was coming up that they were looking for individuals, and specifically they were wanting people that were a testimonial to what they were teaching.
Okay.
And they wanted a bit of a student background that could share their experiences through real estate investing that was a proof that education can get you to that next level. And I wouldn't say that I became more of their poster child. I wouldn't say that. I ended up becoming a couple of those guys as poster child.
Okay.
Because I was mentored by these individuals.
And you were successful when you were doing what they said and working, and it was working well for you.
Yeah, I ended up picking up. What really helped me out was I ended up picking up a master lease option from Chattanooga to Athens, Tennessee. It was 14 single-family homes in a triplex apartment. I ended up picking up no money down.
And that's what they teach you, right? They try to say, how can you make money in real estate? Do you need all this money? No, I do not. Right?
That's right. So then it became that they wanted to share me with the world, and I was open to that. And even though I had no background to it and all that, I mean, it was at the beginning.
It was a natural process for you too, right? Because like you said, you were open to share what happened. You had other people behind you that steered you in that direction, that mentored you through, and you wanted to share that experience to people.
Absolutely, I was open to it, and I was seeking.
Right.
So those that are
so that kind of just blended right together.
That's right. And then then it became one step, became another. I immersed myself in it as just as anything else, and got better at it and learned to communicate better. And I don't know it all, but I definitely love it. I tell people from where I was, what I was only wanting was just to be better than what I was yesterday.
Okay.
As if I could just do a little bit better than what I was yesterday, then I would be doing.
Then you call it a success.
And it compounds itself
exactly.
Every day. Just it's something today. Like this is incredible. I really appreciate things like this. This is something that when I was just starting off, I wish that I could be put on.
We painted the whole office and redecorated because we knew you were coming.
And I can see it. It smells good. It smells fresh.
That's me actually.
I love it. Yeah.
Well, no, you know what? So you got involved.
Yep.
You're out there. You went all over the United States now, right? And you talked to a whole bunch of different people. And is it the same message? Like if you say you're going to North Dakota, right? And you were just came out of like Texas or something, right?
That's right.
Do you do the same message? How does that work? Is there different people? Do you have different?
It varies. It's a good question. People's excuses and moving forward, like fear and all that stays the same.
Right.
That doesn't change.
Right.
But for example, like if I go to Texas, lease options, just can't out that though.
Well, yeah, they don't like that there.
Yeah. So the the strategies and the markets will change, and we do have to study those things. We have to be up par with the market. So it does keep me up on my toes, because then I constantly get to see, and I'm telling you, Chattanooga has one of the best markets. I travel all across America. I see the markets all the way from New York, Miami, Oklahoma, Texas. I've seen many, many different markets, cities, and everything. And we have to study those markets.
Yeah, of course you do. When you go in, you have to show that you know what's going on. This you can work at their local market, wherever it is, right?
That's right. And the funny thing is, every market has a give me strategy. Something that makes that market good. But bar none, Chattanooga is. I call it the secret city. I just don't think people recognize how great this market truly is as far as real estate investing and business ownership altogether. with the people, what you have in front of you, with the people that are willing to help out, there's not a whole lot of markets that carry that, like that atmosphere. And every market, again, you can make any market good. You can learn and create it and strategize and make it work. But if a person is living here in Chattanooga, wanting to get invested in real estate, if you got yourself surrounded by the right people, you can't go wrong.
You know, it's funny. We keep on saying invest local, and that's our kind of our mantra. And we deal with a lot of people from out of town, you know, especially in our property management business. Matter of fact, they're from all over the world. And you say, gosh, you know, the people here don't really see what's going on. It's right here in your backyard. Right. And it's amazing, the opportunities.
Huge amount of opportunities.
You know, and it goes from both holding and renting to flipping, right? Wholesaling, it being a private investor. Now, when people come to you, because now you're doing a bunch of mentoring now too, right? I mean, you got a couple of people that are your clients. When they come to you, do they have an idea of what they want to do, or are they just saying help? You know, but just point me in the direction.
I see the help more often than anything else. A lot of people just don't know where to get started. There's, real estate has a lot of strategies to it. I mean, you can buy, fix, and hold. You can do lease options. You can get into commercial real estate. You can get into mobile homes. You can wholesale. You can retail sell. There's so many different strategies, and what a person is really looking for is just a starting point. And if they can focus on one thing, they could grow, compound that, then move on to a next strategy. Focus on one point, and then keep going. You know,
that's a good point. A lot of times people are going after the shiny, the next shiny object, and a lot of times, a lot of the people that come into town may want to dangle those shiny objects. That's right, but you're saying that education is good. That's what got you where you're at. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater, but zero in on a particular facet.
Absolutely.
Is that that's that your direction?
Yeah, because it's good. It takes time to get traction, and if a person has to understand that, and if they're spinning in the mud, eventually that's going to keep traction. If they give up and then go into another pile of mud,
right, then they're starting up all over again.
Starting all over again.
Yeah.
Whereas if they can focus on one thing and just say, you know what, this is what I want to conquer. I want to do this, no matter how hard it is or how I think about it right now. Let me give it a shot. Give it a true shot. Test it out. You've got to test the market out. You've got to find the highs. You've got to find the lows. You got to find the successes, and you got to find the failures, and then find out what that business is calling for. Okay. When you find that out, then you can make a determination upon it. But prior to that, you don't have the ability.
You wouldn't know what that is.
You wouldn't know what it is.
Did we even throw out your number? So if people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do it?
You could call me on my cell phone. I'm a great texter, so you can always.
All right, do the text.
Area code 423-785-7829. Again, that's 423-785-7829. Or you can email me at Brandon, common spelling, at BrandonDiaz.com. Diaz is spelled D-I-A-Z, like Cameron Diaz.
Like Cameron. No, I don't know if I think I'd rather maybe have Cameron. So, all right. Now you've been teaching this pretty much all over the United States.
That's right.
You're giving Chattanooga a top 5 rating on everywhere else you've done. If you had to say, this is what I would do right now here, if you had to narrow down that whole bucket list that we just threw out, what would be your number 1 or number 2 pick?
If we're here in the Chattanooga market, you're catching me in a hard spot.
I know. For sure. That's what I like to do.
You love it. It's
if I'm going to set the scenario, then I have some money to invest.
Perfect.
Let's say $50,000.
Okay.
I'm a 40-year-old person. I have a job.
Okay. Oh, all right. Well, then it becomes a person's goal. I always tell somebody.
Right. What's your goals? Right.
What is the person's goal? Some people want those long-term rentals.
Right.
With $50,000 in this market, that goes long ways. And there's some phenomenal returns that you can get. I just picked up a property off of Melanie Street that I'm receiving, close to 30% return on.
Yep.
After everything. That's after after taxes.
Well, you know what? We call those the cash cows. Now they might not be in the place where you want to where you particularly want to live, but there are people who want to live there. You can't look at a house where you want to be.
That's right. Well, that's why you hire property management.
Mm-hmm.
Some people want to hold all hats.
Yeah.
So they want to carry all
Right.
these hats. So, and I always say that you can't cheap your way into wealth. When you wear too many hats,
Say that again. That's a good one.
You can't cheap your way into wealth. It's an oxymoron. So some people want to save so much money on certain things. Like, I want to buy a house this way. I don't want to put property management on it. Well, then you have to carry that hat. Then you're not truly being a business owner. You're really being self-employed. Real estate is so leverageable. It's a leverageable business, not only when it comes to money, because people want to collateralize. They want to put their money on collateralized against something, real estate. But it's also leverageable when it comes to other people's time, property management, realtors. You don't pay them on a W-2 salary.
Right.
They're paid by their own performance.
Exactly. And and that's that whole team building that everybody goes into. You start now. Doesn't mean you have to start out with this whole team behind you. You're going to build that as you go.
That's right.
Right. So it's not like you got to sit there and worry about what LLC name I have to come up with. What's this? What's that? What we learned just recently, and it just gets thrown in your face all the time. You have to make offers.
That's right.
If you don't make offers, you're not going to get properties. Nobody's just going to throw you deeds while you're walking around the block.
100%.
So get comfortable. You mentioned it before about being around the right people, being able to mentorship up around and do that. And you know what? I think it's great that you're at an opportunity now where you can start sharing some of your experiences, because you got to rub shoulders with a lot of neat people out in your travels, and gathering that together and sharing that with other people is kind of neat too. So why don't you throw out your number one more time so everybody knows what that is?
Absolutely. And I'm available at any time. I'm also a night owl as well. Just give me a text. I've actually helped a lot of people raise a lot of capital actually here in Chattanooga. I helped out some young individuals at the RIA the other day. But, give me a text, give me a phone call, whatever. It's 423-785-7829. Again, that's 423-785-7829. You can email me at Brandon, common spelling, at BrandonDiaz.com.
Brandon, once again, thank you for being part of the show. And I know you got a busy schedule, and we're just happy you're home for a couple of days so you can enjoy yourself.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
It's interesting, Eric. It's so neat being able to bring people in and having them share their stories with us. And the common theme really is education. Surround yourself with people who know what they're doing. Being able to ask questions to people to help.
Having a mentor, as he said.
Having a mentor to do that. I mean,
and then give back once you've made it. That's what I like that he did.
That's the thing. You're giving back what you got.
And I love the way he started. He said he really didn't know which way he was going, but he said, hey, I'm going to, just kind of immerse myself in this change in my mind. And that's when all of a sudden it went, brought him into real estate, and now he's teaching real estate and going all over the country. Yeah, so it's an amazing story.
And I tell you, you may not have to quit your full-time job right now. A lot of people out there are hopefully are employed,
right,
and they're looking for something else to better themselves. Listen, we all are. Okay, so taking the step forward is the most important thing.
It is.
Take that step. Give
the
us
first step.
We're also offering a 101 course that's out there. Gives you kind of a basic overview of what's going on, the terminology, what type of people to hang around with, to build on your team, time management, goal setting,
the different ways, right?
And that is the step that you would take just to get it's not in everything for everybody. As far as you're going to run out and start, that's the only education you want, but it's a good step that you can go out and be comfortable in putting in offers.
That's correct. And you can go to our website to find out more information on it. That's realestateu.org. Realestateu.org. You'll see at the top it says Real Estate 1.1. Click on that. There's a video, and then you'll also be able to find some information about it. And if you fill out the information there, we'll contact you, talk to you talk to you about it and get you signed up. The other thing, John, is, this radio station, we talk about how big it's what they call the footprint in AM. And we have the opportunity for somebody that, whether you're a real estate agent, whether you're offering some kind of service, whatever it is, that we're going to put together the Real Estate Minute. And if you'd like some more information on that, you can give me a call off the air at 423-521-0284. That's 423-521-0284. And this is, we're looking for 1 or 2 sponsors for each Real Estate Minute. And it's pretty simple, John. It's just going to, we're going to state your name, what you do. We're going to give out your phone number and information. And then we're going to give you a nice little hint, or maybe a helpful tip in real estate. Yeah, it could be a factoid. It may be something we made up. You don't ever know. But it's going to be real estate related. So if you're interested in that, give me a call at 423-521-0284.
I saw this in one of the investor magazines. 2 reasons to quit your 9-to-5 job.
Which is what kind of Brandon did. He said he was at Red Lobster. I don't know if that's 9 to 5. It's probably 5 to 9.
It probably is, but it's interesting, because a lot of times you don't realize what there's a blessing and a curse, right? So sometimes you think that it's a curse when something happens, you lose your job, your hours get cut, whatever. But that could be just what you need to give yourself the
motivation, right?
To go ahead and do something. And hey, that's part of it. I mean, even what Brandon said, he started doing his own thing because nobody else wanted to hire him.
Right.
Well, I know how that feels.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of. But I like this because this is the number one reason is because working for someone else stinks.
Yes.
And the number 2 reason is freedom.
Freedom
for what you want and when you want to do it. And let me just say this: if you're looking at doing something to augment your family's status,
income, you want to eventually break free from the 9-to-5 job. And
just look at how everybody else has done it. Look at the
most people do it in real estate.
Look at the people who have the money out there. Number one, how did they got there? Most likely is in real estate, and if it wasn't, where are they putting their money? So, and most of them are putting it back in real estate. So, if you have even an inkling of going out and doing something, hey, join the course, get on with the Real Estate 101, and that would be a great way to do it. And you can get more information on realestateu.org or
and that's just a U. That's not the YOU.
It's not the YOU.
No, it's just you.
No wonder I couldn't get it.
As in university.
Oh,
yeah.
That's right.
Which, once again, everybody wants to know. Our team did not make the field of 64 this year, but next year we have high hopes. I think we got a new coach coming in. So, yeah. And I think that the big thing that we've really going to add next year are players. So since we don't have any players, we may want to add some players.
We have the bench.
Yeah, we do.
We forgot about the players.
Yeah, and we planned it this summer. We're going to buy the balls, so it'll be great.
You know what? We're going to save up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, listen.
So John, now let's go back to the real estate thing. Even though 2008 hit and everybody kind of wants to fall back there, but if you look over time, real estate is still your best investment. People are always going to need a place to live.
And what Brandon was saying also, Eric, there's so many different facets.
Right.
People think of real estate as being a landlord.
Yeah, they think of 2 ways. You're either a landlord or you're flipping the house. Yeah. And there's so many more.
There's just so many different ways. I'm saying, there's another way of doing it too. You got 401ks. You can
self-directed IRAs. Yeah.
Put some of those into local real estate. You can go out, kick the tires, as it were. And you can't do that with a lot of other investments.
No, because and there's a pride of ownership. I always tell people, if you go out and you buy $5,000 worth of Walmart stock, you don't walk into Walmart and go, "Yep, I own this place," But with $5,000, with $5,000 invested in real estate, you can actually walk in and say, "I own it," and you can touch it, you can smell it, you can do whatever. It's yours. It's still part of the American dream.
You know what? And we were just goofing around when I said $50,000, and Brandon said, "Oh wow, that's a lot of money."
It is.
It is. You can go in and you can do this stuff. There's options that you can buy. There's ways of controlling the property that you take those options and sell them off to other investors. The whole thing here, Eric, is go out and get the deal.
Well, as we learned in the beginning of the show, a good investment may be a nice pair of shoes and then knock on somebody's door. You know, make some copies for offers and be ready to go. And we talked about that in the beginning of the show. As always, you can catch our show on YouTube here on Hot News Talk Radio on YouTube, and you can go back and see our past shows. Our past shows are also on our website at realestateu.org. That's realestateu.org. You'll be able to see this interview with Brandon probably by tomorrow. So if you want to go back and, you know, he gave us a lot of information, a lot of short time. You may want to go back and watch it a few more times. And then, you know, if you just want to see John and I's smiling faces as always, then you can see us there too.
Well, you know what? I want to thank everybody for listening, and we're going to do this again next week.
We do it every week, Tuesday from 11 till noon. And as always, we're here on Hot News Talk Radio, and that's 1240, 1190, and 910 a.m. So go ahead and put it in your calendar. We're here 11 till noon.
What is Russell talking about today?
Russell, he said he was fixing to mix it up with the DEA.
With the DEA?
Yeah. And he said he's had enough of them, and he's going right at them. And no, but as always, Russell will follow us. Now, Russell will follow us with the Digital Drive. And then, of course, after him is David Tullis. And he talks about everything, the local economy, the local markets, the free markets. He even talks a little local politics. So just lock that in on Hot News Talk Radio, or go to hotnewstalkradio.com and listen to us all day long. Once again, you've been listening to Real Estate U here on Hot News Talk Radio. And, you know, go out and do something that you might be a little scared of this week and get over that fear. My name is Eric Judd, and this is Real Estate U on Hot News Talk Radio.
NASCAR, Laura Ingraham, Dennis Miller, David Toulis, Coast to Coast AM, and CBS Radio News. Chattanooga's news, talk, and sports leader.
Hot News Talk Radio, 910, 1190, and 1240 a.m.
Here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's got third. He's going for second. Earnhardt going for the lead.
The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series is on the Motor Racing Network. Coverage continues Sunday here at Live on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Check it out this Sunday live on Chattanooga's official NASCAR radio station.
Hot News Talk 1240.
This is the sound of winning $10,000 with the Jackpot family of instant games from the Tennessee Lottery. This is the sound of winning $50,000 with the Jackpot family of instant games. This is the sound of winning $250,000. And this is the sound of winning $1 million with the Jackpot family of instant games.
Excuse me, ma'am. The orchestra was wondering which song you'd like to hear next.
The Tennessee Lottery, game-changing fun.
Hey, you don't know me, but I want to thank you. A couple of weeks ago, you were at a store paying for coffee. You looked at the lottery tickets, but changed your mind. Anyway, it made me think, why not? It's just $1. Well, $1 turned into $7,000, and I have you to thank. So, thanks. From the guy in line behind you who bought the winning Lucky Sevens instant ticket that you didn't buy.
Don't let someone behind you buy your winning instant ticket. Play today. All it takes is $1 or $2 on a game like Lucky Sevens. The Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing.
I'd probably run for president of the southern states. The day Elvis passed away would be our national holiday. If the South would have won, we'd have had it made.
NASCAR, Laura Ingraham, Dennis Miller, David Toulis, Coast to Coast AM, and CBS Radio News. Chattanooga's news, talk, and sports leader.
Hot News Talk 1240.
WSDQ Dunlap, WEPG South Pittsburgh, WSDT Soddy Daisy, Chattanooga.
CBS News. I'm Steve Kaith, and Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is running for president. His wife Kelly was part of an online video that got the word out early this morning.
Rand has the energy, the ideas, the honesty.
Paul is the second Republican officially in the 2016 field, joining Texas Senator Ted Cruz. Live to Louisville now on CBS's Steve Futterman.
And Steve, this is the official start of the Rand Paul campaign. Supporters of the Kentucky senator have gathered here to listen to him deliver his opening speech. The 52-year-old Paul will promote anti-Washington and pro-libertarian themes. Already we are seeing Rand Paul signs with the message, defeat the Washington machine. One area where Paul could be vulnerable, though, is foreign policy. His Republican opponents may try to label him as an isolationist. Live with the Paul campaign in Louisville, Steve Futterman, CBS News.
A Boston jury now has the Marathon bomb case in its hands. CBS News senior legal analyst Andrew Cohn says 17 of the 30 counts against Johar Tsarnaev could bring the death penalty.
These jurors are evaluating guilt or innocence right now, but what the defense has tried to do is interject mercy and mitigating factors into this part of the trial instead of waiting till the penalty phase. So it'll be interesting to see if some of that is reflected in these verdicts.
In closing arguments at the murder trial in Fall River, Massachusetts, an attorney for ex-NFL star Aaron Hernandez admitted for the first time his client witnessed the killing of Odin Lloyd, but insisted he did not commit the crime. Reports say at least 5 people were killed when a small plane crashed early this morning outside Bloomington, Illinois. The flight originated in Indianapolis. Those on board had attended the NCAA basketball title game. Preliminary TV ratings show last night's Duke-Wisconsin game drew the best numbers for that title match in 18 years on CBS. The White House says it's possible President Obama could recommend Cuba's removal from a list of state sponsors of terror when he attends a regional summit in Panama later this week. Deputy National Security Advisor Benjamin Rhodes says the U.S. boycott of Cuba, still in effect despite the thaw in relations, has hurt Washington all throughout Latin America.
It made no sense that the United States consistently essentially made the decision to isolate ourselves from the rest of the Americas because we were clinging to a policy that wasn't working.
The handwritten lyrics to Don McLean's smash hit American Pie went for $1.2 million at a New York auction this morning. The 16 pages for the 8-minute song included a manuscript and typed drafts. Actor James Best has died at 88.
Just a good old boy.
He was best known for playing Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane on The Dukes of Hazzard, the series that ran on CBS from 1979 to 1985. Wall Street, the Dow is up 86 points. NASDAQ ahead 25. This is CBS News.
Our experts know tires, enough to expertly install more than 3.5 million last year. That level of service will give you more confidence than ever before, even enough to hand feed a juicy steak to a lion. Now get a $120 mail-in rebate on select tires when you use the Ford Service credit card at the Big Tire event. Ford Service, go with confidence.
Subject to credit approval, rebate by prepaid debit card. Other tire manufacturer rebate or offer cannot be combined with Ford Service credit card rebate or offer. See your participating Ford dealer for details through 6/30/15.
The Honda Dream Garage sales event has great deals on almost everything we make, like generators for backup power, and the techno-packed Honda Odyssey with rear-view camera standard for backup power. So go! You've got a garage to fill.
During the Dream Garage sales event, get 0.9% APR financing for well-qualified buyers on a 2015 Odyssey. Now, at your Honda dealer.
Confirm safe conditions before backing up. Rearview camera doesn't display all info about conditions and objects behind vehicle. See your local dealer for financing details.
The U.S. Postal Service is issuing a new Forever stamp that honors a woman who was a poet, author, and civil rights champion.
It's one of the most anticipated issues of the year, no mean feat, considering it was only announced a short time ago. The Maya Angelou stamp will be launched at a ceremony in Washington featuring Oprah Winfrey and Ambassador Andrew Young, among others. The Forever stamp design shows a